Hello mates and lassies, this is 155mm bringing you another video. And I hope I don't bore you guys with this video. I mean, I know it's not really a really important subject to America, you know what I mean? I mean, seeing how, all these Gulf War veterans all the way back to Desert Storm 9091, and so on, Gulf War I. By the way, extended Desert Storm. We know deserts. Let's hear it when Desert Storm actually ended. I'll let my subs tell me that. But the subject of the so-called what they want to make up as, we'll call it Gulf War syndrome. That's what they called it when they first, when the VA first came out with, this real injury, toxic wound from the combat zone that is caused by Saddam releasing chemical weapons, VX nerve agent, sarin, on low level on U.S. and coalition forces. But the government won't tell you that. Look up, fire! Randy, hydraulic wheel. Come on! First of one thing, I see right in the rear closing, right where the sparks line, prime. Look up, fire!
Although Saturdays when kids go out playing, yo, I was up in my room, I let the stereo.
The subject of the so-called what they want to make up as, we'll call it Gulf War syndrome. That's what they called it when they first, when the VA first came out with, this real injury, toxic wound from the combat zone that is caused by Saddam releasing chemical weapons, VX nerve agent, sarin, on low level on U.S. and coalition forces. But the government won't tell you that. No other veteran here on the internet's going to tell you that either, because you got a bunch of pogues that'll run up, and as soon as another vet says something like that, they're scared to say it because they're afraid these pogues here on the internet are going to run up and call them, well, you're a valor thief. You're trying to steal valor. You know damn well, Saddam. You said Saddam hit you with these weapons that you're trying to steal. That's never been proven. Hey, retard. The U.S. government's never going to admit that Saddam was using chemical weapons, you idiot. You idiots. Okay, that's why Big Daddy 155 comes on here and I say it every day. I don't give a fuck what you all assholes say. You know what? Saddam hit me with chemical weapons. Until you prove otherwise, you know what? Looks like you're the liar. Looks like you're the valor thief. Looks like you're stealing my valor or trying to steal my valor. But you know what? You can't do it because I step up and speak up about it. Okay? I'm service connected from combat theater. I'm already proven. Getting paid for it, son. So I don't care what you losers say. Okay? And as I said before in several videos way long ago, the best of you, the most, you can bring on the Navy SEALs, you can bring on the top special forces, you can bring on any other pogue, and that's what they are to me, pogues. You can bring on the best of these pogues to face me anywhere in any court of law, and I guarantee you, I'll come out the winner. That's the reason why these guys don't screw with me. Because you know what? They know I have too much proof to prove that And I don't like the fact that people like this don't support the cause. They're all about themselves. They're all about what they can get, creating a job for themselves, etc. here on the internet. But we'll leave that at that. If I wanted to make a job for myself, I would have done that long ago. I'm not here looking to make a job for myself. I'm looking here to speak up for veterans who are dying all over this country, and I'm pretty pissed off about it. I know what it feels like. I'm one of the guys who got hit by this shit, these weapons from Saddam. And, like I said, when I came into this fight, I knew that they were going to send all these other veterans after me, and they were going to send them to publicly call me a liar, to publicly call me a valor thief, to publicly try and disgrace my military service, which is nothing but honorable. I mean, I'm an old beat up, broken down redleg. I've never really done anything special. I don't consider myself to have ever done anything special. But you know what? I served on the dotted line. I did my time. I earned my medals, and I didn't leave any of my brothers behind. Nor do I intend on leaving any brother behind of any war, here on the internet. But off of the rant, because I'm way off point now. But back to what I was talking about, this so-called Gulf War syndrome that U.S. Department of Defense and the government has all tried to hide, and by the way, basically blew up Qamishli as an excuse to hide that Saddam was releasing these weapons beforehand on the veterans. Okay, low level, Saddam had many ways he was releasing these weapons. I've talked about those in my videos. And this shit started all the way back to 90. And if you read some of the older newspaper articles, Saddam warned the U.S. back in 90 before the Gulf War kicked off, Desert Storm kicked off. He said, we have a new weapon. And he was saying things like, you'll never even know what hit you. And I've actually quoted a couple of those things he said back in 94. And 95, he was saying things like, the government actually removed a lot of this stuff from the internet. But if you fish around, you can find it. But Saddam actually made quotes like, the croaking of the reptiles, etc. Back in 95, we know what they used to use to kill frogs, shit like that. Pesticides. And there's a whole lead up to this stuff, guys. I've talked about it. If you go back in my videos, you can look at it. I mean, it points at nothing else but enemy release weapons. And, not that DOD knew back in 1991 that Saddam was releasing weapons, but I believe as the war got ready to end, they realized that he had hit probably, I don't know how many of those 700-something thousand troops there in 1991. He had hit them with low-level VX or nerve agent. And so in order to cover their ass, they went and blew Qamishli. Because they said, well, you know what? Best way to squash public support for this will be that if we go ahead and take the blame ourselves, we go ahead and blow Qamishli, and then, we'll say it's an accidental exposure, and as long as the vets can't pinpoint this as being an enemy injury during combat, that'll squash you public support here in the United States. It's a formula that they have. And it's pretty smart, it's worked pretty good, as y'all can see. I mean, it's been 25 years since Desert Storm kicked off. But look into it more, guys, because this is shit that's been hidden by your own U.S. government. And the reason why I know that for a fact is because there's not, they want you all to believe that everyone who's been exposed to these chemicals served there during 90-91. Well, I happen to know that that's bullshit. No, it's not. No, they haven't. Not every veteran who's been exposed to these chemicals served there during 90-91. They served there after, and after, and after, and after, and after. All the way up to the point where ISIS is now basically went over to that bunker over there that Saddam had, that they poured concrete into it, and they started jackhammering that bunker over there, and started pulling these weapons out that the U.S. left over there in that bunker, which was stupid. They left these weapons in that bunker over there, and ISIS are pulling those weapons out now. And what's the reason that they're pulling those weapons out of that chemical weapons depot, that bunker over there? I forget the name of it right now. It's off the top of my head. But this just happened here about 2014. Last year this came out, that ISIS was over there, and they took that Saddam's old chemical weapons munitions dump depot over there. And those chemical weapons were supposedly sealed in a vault. Well, ISIS knocked that vault open, and they're getting those chemical weapons on. They're showing pictures on here on the internet of them busting them open, and they're pouring those chemical weapons in vats and using them for combat. So there's a reason, evidently, and by the way, ISIS is Saddam's original Republican Guard. Many of the top members of ISIS are Saddam's original Republican Guard. During the Iraqi invasion, Iraqi freedom, they stripped their uniforms off and went up into Syria, and then let the U.S. coalition forces invade. And then as soon as they realized, well, you know what, these guys will leave here sometimes. As soon as Obama pulled forces out, they put the uniforms back on, come back down. Is the Sunni rebellion, ISIS, and decide they're going to take back over the country again. Even though Saddam's not with them, these are Saddam's former regime, Saddam's former leaders. They're all Sunni. Saddam's Sunni sect. I mean, if you guys remember the mother of all battles canal I talked about here in my video before, that was a chemical weapons ravine. Okay, Saddam built that. It was pouring chemical weapons in that, and he was doing that to get the Shias in the south to leave his country. Saddam was all about Sunni. He hated the Kurds, he hated the Shias, and he was pouring chemical weapons in that ravine, not only for the Shias, but also for coalition troops. Okay, U.S. troops are down there in Kuwait on the border on the DMZ, defending Kuwait. It was a game. It's a cat and mouse game to Saddam. Okay, you had the mother of all battles canal. You had the fidelity to the leader canal right over there underneath. What's the city to the lower right of Iraq? There's a city right there. It's farthest away from Baghdad. Okay, I can't remember the name of it right now, but this stuff's, I've had other things I've been doing, guys, and this stuff isn't fresh on my mind anymore. But that was a city that Saddam had a lot of problems with. He actually had to send Chemical Ali down there as a governor to that city to keep them, from breaking away and opposing him. And he actually cut a ravine. Okay, there's a ravine below it, and there's the ravine that goes over top of it. And he cut a ravine below it that washes out into the Persian Gulf. And that ravine was to release those chemical weapons through that ravine. Okay, now if those guys pissed him off, he could close the doors on that ravine, and that ravine was called Fidelity to Your Leader Canal. Okay, if these guys even gave Saddam a bit of lip, opposed him and shit, he closed the doors off on that ravine and washed the chemicals up above them to where they're blowing downwind. through the Shamal winds. The Shamal winds in Iraq blow south during the wintertime, into the summer, to the winter, all the way to the spring. And that was his way of, Saddam had this way where, he was going, he was like, you know what, you either do what I say, or I'm going to poison you, and you're going to leave your village. You'll see this, a lot of this on the internet, if you look through the old tapes of Chemical Ali. Chemical Ali actually, in one of his online video audios here you can find it here online. He actually said, he repeated just what Saddam had said. We have a new weapon. You'll leave your village, and you won't come back. Well, that's the whole thing. What he meant was, we're going to release chemical weapons on you. You're going to get sick. You're not going to understand why you're getting sick, but you're just going to get so sick that you start to die unless you leave. And that's exactly what happened. And guys, that's exactly what's happened to all these veterans. It's been hidden. It's been closed up. And like I said, their DOD still ain't ready to admit that they were wrong. They're not ready to admit that Saddam got over on them. And until they bite their, integrity or whatever, this shit is not going to move forward. Because, like I said, Saddam, he knew what he was doing with these weapons. He released these weapons at the kickoff of Desert Storm, low level, because he planned on, and that's why he touted Desert Storm the mother of all battles, because he knows there were so many vets who got exposed and poisoned by these chemicals, and they didn't even know it hit them. Like a lot of my videos I put on here, Saddam actually put out in 94. I believe it was October 94. And he meant this for Operation Vigilant Warrior 1. He said, our striking arm will reach America, Britain, and Saudi Arabia before they even know it hit them. And sure enough, there's guys who've been exposed during that operation as well. Also during Operation Bright Star 95. So I've actually met veterans exposed to chemical weapons during these operations, and they were given this. I haven't verified that Bright Star is given the Southwest Asia Service Medal, but I know Operation Vigilant Warrior 1, they're given the Southwest Asia Service Medal, and by the way, they're Operation Desert Storm veterans. That just changed here a couple of years back when DOD realized that all these veterans were poisoned by chemical weapons. They extended Desert Storm all the way to 95. So for all my longtime subscribers here, thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for supporting the effort. Regardless of what these assholes say, I don't care. It doesn't matter at this point. I think it's funny that they would ever call me a fake. But you guys can believe what you want. I'm not showing my DD-214 here on the internet. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing it. Okay? Matter of fact, it's a cat and mouse game to me anyway. I don't give a shit what these guys say. They don't force me to show shit. But all my supporters, thank you guys. And all my haters, oh well. Go cry, boys. Get yourself a job. Get yourself a job here on the internet. But our respectable citizens carry firearms, criminals carry weapons. Peace out.
Saturdays when kids go out and play, yo, I was up in my room, I let the stereo blaze. On Saturdays when kids go out and play, I was up in my room, I let the stereo play. It's all inside of me. It's all inside of me. It's all inside of me. It's all inside of my head. Overrated. Click, click, boom. I'm coming to everybody, come on, come on.
People have forgotten that for 7.5 years, we found weapons of mass destruction.